Hello, Taurus. Welcome to your weekly reading for January 12th to the 18th. This is for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising, and we're going to jump right in. Remember the blue asterisk, the best aspects of the week. This is going to be applesauce. You are also saddled up for this ride. You're very serious about your goals, your networking, you're building out your calendar, your Rolodex, your Asana, all of that. You're probably using your hands a lot, pointing at charts and at colleagues and employees. Do this, do that, because you're being a boss. It's Capricorn season. It's all about work and everything, your legacy, but a lot of work energy. But it is your ninth house, so you're also being very serious about spirituality and your belief system. You are going on walkabouts and vision quests and Burning Man. Like, you're definitely taking all of that seriously because you're riding that wave of last week's triple Cazimi, which included the Sun and Mars. They're still conjunct this week. Remember, they're all traveling together leading up to this loaded new moon that's happening in Capricorn this weekend that's graced with 10 aspects. Yeah, not everything's on the whiteboard. This is a standout week, but actually what really stands out is that Taurus, this is actually secretly all about you this week because all the aspects, all the planetary aspects are only happening in 3 signs, and that's Capricorn, that's Pisces, and that's you. So really strong concentration on just everything that has to do with your future hopes and aspirations and long-term goals and dreams and networking, as well as work and your spirituality and teaching. A lot of y'all are teaching or going back to school, your philosophies and publishing, but also just you. You're going to have some big changes this week. All right. And that's the thing about this week. It's all earth and water, right? So very grounded, very practical. You're in your element, your zone. You're being emotionally moved, or you could also be very emotional because on Monday, not on the whiteboard, January 12th, you're going to have the Sun, Venus, and Mars in Capricorn. Remember, they're all traveling together, and they're going to square Chiron in Aries. Yeah, that's another sign that's brought into the mix. But remember, Chiron's not a planet, so it's not planetary aspects, and this is big. And it's a big deal. It's in your 12th. And this is a square. This could bring in those lower expressions of, being hard on yourself, self-sabotage, isolation, things like that. Feeling like old wounds. That's Chiron, right? The wounded healer. Old wounds being brought up to the surface, especially in work and your motivations. There could feel like a little bit of emotional pressure points, but we'll talk about this in the second spread where we talk about asteroids, planetoids, lunations, the other half of your forecast, okay? But just know that you may reassess your values. And there could be a female figure involved on this day. It could be a friend, it could be a mother, a maternal figure, a boss, all of that. It's that Capricorn energy. But I will also tell you one thing, all right? Mars is physicality. So keep that in mind. Remember, Mars happens to be Aries ruler. There can be some bangs and bruises and bumps. If you're not careful, Chiron is the wounded healer. Sometimes we do walk into, sliding glass doors, holding a bag of Fritos, whatever it is. Just be mindful this day. But it is your 12th house, and that's the subconscious. So there really could be something like drawn up that is like old insecurities, especially around leadership. All right. But anyway, we'll talk about the second spread. The other thing is that the reason why this day might be a little bit more amplified emotionally for you, Taurus, is because the moon will be in Scorpio. And if you're a subscriber, I talk about the moon in Scorpio all the time. because it does have a kick to it. It has some intensity to it. And Scorpio is your opposite sign. Therefore, there may be something here with partnerships, relationships, love, and marriage and contracts in a good way. Because the moon in Scorpio will trine Jupiter. And it will sextile Mercury and Mars. We'll talk about it in the second spread. You're likely getting good news. Now, Tuesday, however, though, the moon in Scorpio will be opposite Uranus in your sign. So there may be a little bit of some unexpected surprises with love and relationships and contracts. We'll talk about the second spread. Anyway, Wednesday, here we are, January 14th. You got Venus, your ruler, sextiling Saturn and trining Uranus. That's happening Thursday, January 15th, but you guys see this as a package deal. They're happening concurrently. You're going to feel both of these aspects strongly up to the weekend. That's how strong it is. And what a great example of divine timing, because Venus just had her rebirth from last week's conjunction with the sun, her Kazimi, and then she had a cosmic powwow with her lover Mars, also reborn, and he's exalted. Both of them are in tip-top shape on a whole other level that we haven't seen since 1993. The last time you had Venus, Mars, the Sun, and even Mercury all in Capricorn. And now Venus is meeting up with Saturn and Uranus that's in your sign. So, two things here. One, Venus, Capricorn, right? She's all business. She's a little bit more formal in Capricorn. She's met up with the Sun and Mars and the North Node. And by the end of the month, she'll have met up with Pluto. That's almost the entire solar system where she's been negotiating on your behalf. So this day, when you've got Venus and Capricorn, sextile Saturn and Pisces, this is good. She's going to be like fattening your bank account, your Venmo, your Zelle. Maybe there's something here with creative projects that's really, really great, as in there's the needle moving forward, right? And even business deals. She brings business deals. She puts sparks in relationships. She can bring you those sliding doors moments if you're single. She's meeting up with Uranus. So whatever it is, a lot of this is going to be spiritual for you. It's going to make you see things in a whole new way. And again, yes, there can be something here with publishing. Are you writing a book? Broadcasting? Did you start a podcast? Right? Travel, long distance travel, foreign cultures, foreign lands. This is exciting. Education is a big thing here, but so is higher mind. Yeah? So anything your heart desires, this is just really special. This is your ruling planet. So you could see solid potential and promise as long as you're committed. All right? With Venus sextile Saturn. All right? And he's in Pisces. So it's commitment with compassion. Remember, he's a PE teacher this month. He's cool, right? So this can define or upgrade a relationship or a partnership. You're going to feel it on this really deep, just nirvanic spiritual level. You may be working on a long-term project that's got legs to it. It's stable for the long haul, okay? This is not a Rachel Ross, will they, won't they situation. You're in or you're out. And you're going to be in. And remember, sextiles are windows of opportunity that reward you with the effort that you put in, especially with Saturn. He's going to stabilize things for you as long as you just show up. And Saturn in Pisces is your 11th house. So that is your future hopes and aspirations during Capricorn season. Right? Remember, Saturn is Capricorn's ruler. So you have that overlap here of something here. You're all about your future. And friendships and networking and groups you belong to. That is your 11th house as well. So you may be doing something with friends or starting an organization. But I mean, Venus, who is charming and magnetic and social, she's making things happen for you. So Saturn is saying, whatever you want, I'm going to help you build that bridge for your goals and your long-term values. But You have to make sure it's realistic and practical, and there's got to be boundaries, and you need a plan, okay? And with Uranus, Venus trine Uranus, what? Uranus is in your sign. Venus is your ruler. Venus is at home here when she's meeting up with Uranus. She's got sway. So, of course, Uranus, the planet of change and breakthroughs, of course, he's saying, duh, yeah, I'm going to build you a door to the bridge. All you got to do is open it. But you've got to do something different. You've had the same routine over and over and over and over, especially with you and your identity, the role that you play, your relationship with money, or how you see relationships. All of that's got to change. You've got to shake things up and be innovative. Stay authentically you, but evolve. And I'll give you the keys. And you know what? I'll also throw in security. Okay? So, you're going to have very likely a financial breakthrough here, or a sudden opportunity that has to do with teaching or travel or education, or you getting an agent for the book that you're writing on mice that visit Paris, whatever you want. But none of this will happen unless you take action. Okay? This is Uranus. Right? So, don't resist change. Change is going to happen around this time, and it's going to be you. Uranus is in your sign. You're going to be initiating change. This is amazing because Capricorn season is all about growing up and outgrowing things, right? So, as long as you think outside the box, and most importantly, initiate change, there is great potential here with money, with relationships, new relationships, creative projects, anything that your heart desires. You got the planet of money and values in the sign of money and values, and that's you, Taurus. You rule money and values. Saturn's going to make things long lasting, so you're going to feel your values actually shift around this time. And whatever happens around this time, it can be subtle, but it can be also very life changing. So, that said, it could also feel really great with relationships because the moon will actually move into Sagittarius. So a little bit of fire here as well. And that's adventurous and that's spontaneous and that changes your worldview and your perspective, and you feel happy-go-lucky and you're excited about taking risks. And, Sagittarius rules your 8th house. So again, love and money, a big theme for you this week. Now, if you are a cross-watcher, if you watch your rising or your moon, or for your lover, it will be the earth signs, Taurus, you, Virgo, Capricorn, and I'm throwing in the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces will feel these aspects with Venus the most. If you've got any planets 26 to 29 degrees in any of those signs, this is it. This is it. You're going to feel it the most. C'est la vie. All right? Now, Friday. So we'll talk about this in a second, spread that Mars will square Eris and Chiron. Eris is Mars' sister. There may be a little confrontation here. For you, Taurus, it may have to do with your belief system, and it may be something just very spiritual in your perspective, not seeing eye to eye, some power struggles, all right? Anyway, I hope that you are strapped in because Saturday, January 17th, wow, you've got first Venus sextile Neptune, 29 degrees, okay? Critical degree. There's something happening here. That's really, really nice. There's something that's going to bring opportunities for romance and compassion, the arts, imagination, your dreams. This is this really happening energy because it's so spiritual and magical and inspiring. And also, this is it. All right? This is the last of it. Remember, Neptune will be moving out of Pisces into Aries in just 2 weeks from now. 1 week. January 26th. What is that? 10 days? Yeah. So, soak it up, absorb it. It's amazing. And you now also have the sun, this high frequency vitamin D, that will also sextile Saturn and trine Uranus in your sign, just the way Venus did. Because remember, those planets in Capricorn are traveling together, meaning, yes, next week Mars will do the same thing. So you see how you're getting this change, upgrades. The sun is a life force. It's the way that you express yourself. In this weekend, oh, you will have some presence. This is when the sun sextiles Saturn, right? Which only happens like twice a year, by the way. And the next time will be June, FYI. And the thing about that, remember, that'll be very different because Saturn will be in Aries. Anyway, this time around, yes, this is absolutely amazing. You could find yourself, there could be opportunities for leadership roles. There could be some really spiritual teaching, you imparting ancient wisdom in some way, or just wisdom. Like, this is huge for you. This is when that leader in you stands out. This is you feeling very optimistic with your goals, your determination just through the roof. And remember, Saturn is in Pisces in your 11th house of your future aspiration and dreams, also your social network. It's the people that you know that's going to connect you to what you want to do, to what your future dreams and aspirations will be. And then when you've got the sun trine Uranus in your sign, again, that only happens twice a year. Next time will be September, and Uranus will be in Gemini. Very different. Something with money around that time for you. Around this day, yeah, you're going to be open to change. Uranus is in your sign. You're going to be taking risks. You're going to be experiencing breakthroughs. That feeling of feeling stuck is gone. Yeah? Like your brain just discovered a whole new batch of endorphins. I mean, you're definitely going to want to try new things. You're going to break out of your shell. There's so much happening here. This is really special. All right. And a lot of this is, has to do with you. It's Uranus in your sign. And yeah, this is the last of this too. Uranus moves into Gemini in April, but this is all about you, your personality, how you present yourself, your appearance. This is in your sign. You're going to change things up. You might get bangs, but whatever it is, you're going to feel that, oh, I've got one life to live. I'm going to make the best of this moment. Anything is possible. That optimism, right? From the sun. And so this is amazing. And then you have Mercury conjunct Mars. And so remember, this is sharp. This is grounded energy. It's strategic. You will be planning things. You may be making announcements, bold announcements. You may be making some really strong decisions here. Walking the walk, talking the talk, shoulders back. But remember, this can also be strong. So you want to avoid, this can be bossy. This can be too assertive. It can be very Cersei Lannister. It doesn't matter. The moon is already in Capricorn at this point. The moon in Capricorn is no nonsense, okay? But you do have Venus moving into Aries, and this is the only non-water Earth activity. And this is an ingress, not an aspect. It's just Venus leaving Capricorn, moving into Aquarius, and now your focus still shifts, but stays in career, in your legacy, because 10th house, that's Aquarius for you. So this is just very interesting for you, because this is it's your ruler. You're going to be very social. Venus feels a lot more free in Aquarius, and it's more like dreamer mode, right? You already have that with Saturn, Neptune, and the North Node in your 11th house, which is Aquarius's home. So dream big, okay? It's all about what's possible here. You're gonna have stimulating conversations and thoughts And especially with colleagues, work, bosses, it's very much on the table. Venus is in Aquarius all month, the rest of the month. This is you embracing your eccentric side rather than traditional, right? That's standing out for that. Friendship's going to be a big priority, especially work friends, okay? That's what you're going to be seeking, like support from work in a friend capacity, and rather than like pointing boards and things and interns, things like that, being the boss. You're collaborating now. That's Venus in Aquarius. That's all about collaboration and shared missions. So this is when you care less about power and instead even you question it, because Aquarius isn't just the rebel of the zodiac. Aquarius is humanity and the collective, and you will feel your values shift toward the greater good for all. And Sunday, January 18th, the new moon in Capricorn. So here you go, 28 degrees, 29. It's 3 p.m. All right, there's late degrees. Everything that you've been working on all month toward your goals, your legacy. Well, here's your big moment, okay? As long as you have conviction, this is a Saturn ruled new moon, all right? Mars conjunct Mercury, yeah, baked into this new moon. And by the way, the moon will trine Uranus in your sign. And it will also sextile Neptune in Pisces. Therefore, you have a mini grand trine. This new moon is getting a surge of energy from Mars, from Mercury, from Saturn, from Neptune, from Uranus, right? Energies that are going to unfold into the next week where you already have potent aspects. This is the new moon heard around the world. And then also, whoa, you have Saturn sextile Uranus the next day. But remember, that's part of the prison portal. But remember, those are outer planets. They move really slow. So you're feeling it all week, especially over the weekend, especially during the new moon. And Uranus is in your sign. Saturn is in your 11th house of friendships and your goals. There's something truly brewing in terms of you breaking from tradition here. And you're moving into Aquarius season the next day anyway. All right. I talked about this in your monthly forecast, how this is the last of its kind new moon. It's a true ending and beginning. Especially all this Aquarius energy. Literally the next day. All right, we literally move into Aquarius season, but all those planets are moving into Aquarius, and they could not be further apart. Like Capricorn and Aquarius, so different, right? But you still have a new moon in Capricorn. It's all about your foundations and building your foundations and your career and your legacy. Saturn, Capricorn's ruler, will make sure that you're focused and realistic and that you take your goals far. And lastly, Mercury will trine Uranus in your sign. That's right. This expands your consciousness, makes you incredibly open-minded to be more experimental. Yeah? Therefore, you are going to do things outside your comfort zone, which is what you want to do this weekend anyway. And remember, Mercury is the lower octave of Uranus. They work well together. They help you innovate. This is stimulating. This is going to bring you unexpected news. This is likely you also making surprising announcements to people or having breakthroughs or awakenings. You have to take advantage. You have to set intentions, make executive decisions, make big moves, lock things in, be the author of your story. Where do you want to be when we get to July, to the corresponding full moon in Capricorn? This new moon is a portal, and you have incredible potential here, because who's going to feel this new moon the most? It will be the earth signs. You in Virgo and Capricorn. And I'm throwing in the water signs. And if you have any planets 27 to 29 degrees, oh yeah, buckle up, buckle up. This is your new moon. Let's see what's going on for you, all right, Taurus, for January 12th to the 18th, the week of the one-of-a-kind new moon in Capricorn, and all that other stuff. Taurus, you crack me up. Stop it. Come on. I do a traditional Celtic cross spread, offers the best overview, especially for a weekly reading. If we need to pull clarifiers, you know that we will. Yeah, I've already lost my voice. It's been a long day. Taurus, you know, I love y'all. What are y'all doing for this? Y'all got a lot of relationship stuff this week, to be honest, just an FYI. But it's almost like you're also gonna have this huge spiritual awakening too. Well, this new moon, this cluster of planets in your ninth. Wow. All right, let's get started. Let's see. What? Yeah. You're good. You're good. We got to talk about something. We got to talk. Wow. Yeah. Taurus, come on. You're making me blush. Look, you got the moon during the week of the new moon. What's interesting about this is the moon in tarot is attributed to Pisces, okay? And so, very interesting when you've got Saturn, Neptune, the North Node, all in Pisces. They're all leaving Pisces this year, by the way. But that's your 11th house. Again, your future hopes and wishes and dreams. And again, you've got a Saturn-ruled new moon in Capricorn. But either way, what's going on upstairs? There's some things you got to face. And there are some things you may feel emotional about. And there are some things where it feels like, yes, like tapping into your intuition, your higher mind, really, that pineal gland, like giving it a little bit of a shake. That's what's going to help through that moment, because it feels like there's been something that's been going on. It could have been a little bit heavy, could have been really emotional for you. Could have to do with your future. And so it's a matter of being comfortable in this moment. How do you do that? You break down everything that's in your way upstairs, right? And you do have, all those aspects with Chiron in Aries. That is your 12th house of the subconscious. It's the moon, right? So keep that in mind, the 12th house. The lower expressions, like I said, would be self-sabotage. It would be like not facing your fears. It could be also isolation, withdrawal. And also, honestly, some of y'all may be, the fact that you do have Mars, that's going to be, and again, we'll talk about the second spread, but listen, it's just Mars being so aggressive and being physicality, and that is your 12th house. And the 12th house, yes, it's solitude and the subconscious, rest and retreat, but it's where it's like I said, healing, but also hospitals. So that's why I'm just like, just be mindful around this day. All right? There really could be something here that's just, if you're like out of it, you get back in it. Okay? Because that swords are the mental suit. And so you've got a little bit of the subconscious with the conscious. You got higher mind with the physical mind. There's a lot going on upstairs. You have that Seven of Swords. This is being honest with yourself. There's something that you're keeping in. But then you've got that Ace of Swords in your challenge area where you feel a little bit powerless. And hopefully you don't, but that's what this is saying. So you've got to find that spark within you. The second thing is, there may be some responsibilities here. Remember I said with your ruling planet and the sun, and all the planets in Capricorn. That's going to square Chiron and Aries. That's 2 cardinal signs. It's leadership, right? So your leadership being maybe questioned or challenged, or you questioning it as well. So you've got to get to that point where it's not self-sabotage, but it's self-empowerment, right? Do you want to feel powerful or powerless? This is saying, I don't know. He's looking back, he's sneaking away with all these swords, and so there's something here where there's something that you've got to face. Ultimately, swords, sure, it's a mental suit, but it's all about truth. Yeah? And so there's something here that may be illuminated, right? That you're gonna have to, it's a reality that you're gonna have to say, all right, I'm gonna handle this rather than not. The other thing is, this could be a little bit of, this is the biggest sword in the deck, right? With great power comes great responsibility. So this could be a little bit of abuse of power. I'm not saying that's going to be, I'm not saying it's you. I'm saying that's what this is saying, all right? So just keep that in mind. You want to feel empowered. You want to feel your best. You got some amazing aspects. And you don't want to resist change. You want to initiate it. This is the perfect week for you to initiate change, to make change. Have great change. It's the only constant in this world. You got the Page of Cups. That's great. So you got the 9 of Pentacles. That's great. That's amazing. Page of Cups. There's that dreamer energy. There's that, wearing your heart on your sleeve. This is following your bliss. You know what you want. Make it happen. Okay? Make it happen. There could be someone on your mind too. It feels like there's a creative project in the works, or there's creative energy that's, really stick with that creative energy. Okay? And when I say that, I think that our minds kind of just quickly go to like the arts and painting and drawing stuff. You can use creativity in so many ways. Problem solving, solutions, etc. Now, but this is really like just, there's something new that you want anyway. Yeah, that 9 of Pentacles, really great. This is that freeness. I was talking about that freedom, like just standing in your garden of abundance, soaking up the sun, right? You got a falcon on your hand. That's bliss. All right? That's rich, too. Remember, you got money stuff. Anyway, there's going to be some moments. This is just saying there's this just freeness that you're seeking. But you got to be honest with yourself. All right? This is being not free. This is going in circles. You get through that, oh my gosh, your life is going to change big time. Big time, okay? Some of y'all may be retiring too with all this 9th and 10th. There may be something with second marriages. I know relationships is a big thing. There may be something here with second marriages, even third marriages, but retirement, this card is heavily associated with that. I mean, this is money and wealth, but again, it's more about like this self-sufficiency. And you've got to feel that, all right? She's worked really hard to get here. And you're going to have all of these aspects with Chiron and Aries. So it's working on you, ultimately, you, and feeling that part of you again. But that Fool in your future, remember, this is a week where you will be making that change. You will be taking risks, leaps of faith, trusting in yourself, trusting in the universe. This is opportunity. There's innocence here. There's everything. It's the Fool. It's card 0. What's 0? It's nothing. What's nothing? Nothing's everything. You see his little satchel? He's only bringing the essentials. Yeah? What comes before 0? Nothing. So, I know. Now I'm going in circles, but You got the full abundance of the sun, optimism. I mean, this is so great. And I want you to take that leap of faith. It seems like you will. It seems like things are just going to change anyway. And it seems significant. All right? Let's get to your stuff. Taurus, you got some big changes. And a lot of it has to do with the lunations, to be honest. When you've got, the moon in Scorpio and then the moon in Sag, that's a lot of relationships and even contracts and, marriage and business partners. But it is like, what do you want to invest your emotions in? Anyway, if you like this reading, it'd be great if you subscribe, share, leave comments. I gotta put my glasses on. Love y'all. All right, Taurus. I'm looking out for you. I'm trying to, seeing if there's anything else. All right, so, yeah, there we go. Wow. Okay. Very interesting. Oh my gosh. All right. There's your spiritual awakening that I was talking about. You got judgment. Have it. Have your moment. Set yourself free. Set yourself free. Because here's the thing. You've got to see this as having almost like a mini rebirth. Yeah, this new you, this Taurus 2.0 coming out on the other end where you feel, look how free they are. These people, they're now seeking this meaningful life experience after hearing the blowing of the trumpet, which is sound. What is sound? It's healing, it's vibration, it's frequency, right? It's energy. That you're going to have your moment, and I want you to have your moment. And the fact that you have a new moon in Capricorn, with all these planets in Capricorn, your 9th house of spirituality, have your moment. And this is having a wake-up call. And I feel like there's something where you have to be honest with yourself about here. You have that 5 of Wands in your external factors area. There's a lot of noise. You got to cut that noise, okay? And there can be other people involved. Now, you have the Empress. Perfect. Listen, this is everything that you deserve. The Empress is a goddess. This is luxury. This is super conscious love. This is abundance. This is living life through your passions. This is you, okay? You do see your symbol, the symbol of Venus, in this stone-shaped heart. So there is some growth here that you're seeking, and it's just so obvious, okay? Wow. There is a lot of wisdom here. There's a lot of joy and optimism and opportunities and calm. I mean, it's all blue and yellow. Like, you're good. Here's the thing. You got the 9 of Wands in your final outcome. And so that's great. That's saying don't give up. That's all about perseverance. But really connect with your intuition. This is going to be the week to do that. Yeah. This is saying that, yeah, you may have gone through it. You may have been rung through the ringer or felt that way. Or this week, you may. But this is you believing in yourself and everything that you have worked hard for, and especially with work and career, but anything that you're passionate about, that is saying hang in there, and this is part of your transformation too. All right? So, Taurus, you don't need... I'll clarify that. You want me to clarify the 9 of Wands? What did it... Yeah, let's see. Oh, yeah. 7 of Cups. 7 of Cups. Okay. That makes sense. You are definitely in a place where... I'm going to see something here. Queen of Swords. It's interesting. Because here's the thing. The more that you hold on to that, where you're... It's that perseverance, that endurance. You can't do that forever. Yeah? At some point you might get a little... You're like, oh, okay, can someone take... I need some water. right? I feel a little dizzy, disoriented. That brings that 7 of Cups. So at some point, you're going to be asking yourself, what am I fighting for? What am I fighting hard for? Is this what I want? Is this a path that I want to be on? Yeah? You got to be honest with yourself. And you will. You got that Queen of Swords. It's cutting through the fog. It's cutting through the noise. It's you being that authority. It's you being true to yourself. And this is just someone who has so much authority. She makes really great decisions. Good mediator too. But this is singular thought. This is you making decisions for yourself. Okay? So, I was going to do something special for you. Oh, actually, I want to see that 7 of Swords. Let's see that 7 of Swords. Yeah, you're going to be fine. You just got to be honest with yourself. It looks like, you got the 4 of Wands, which is a card of just like milestones of celebration. And speaking of freeness, right? You got all these cards where you just want to be free. That's all you want. Even with that 9 of Wands, you're still, connected to all these things where it feels like you can't leave your spot, right? These people are outside the castle. They're free. They're joyful. This is everything. This is you, again, being honest with yourself. But even if it's circumstantial, where you feel like there's, maybe something's not fair or something that's been just things are out of your hands, you still have to be honest with yourself about the circumstances and put your best foot forward. But honestly, it really is, there's something you may be holding in, and it's time to let it out. It's almost like there's a spiritual filter that it must go through. Okay? Burning Man. Oh, the thing that I was going to do, that I'm doing for every sign, I'm going to pull a card. I'm going to pull a card from the Tarot of the Divine. We're going to see, what is your biggest message? This is what we do in the second spread, in the bonus spread, by the way. But this week, Tier 3 members, really good, and Legendary members, we're doing a separate spread just on that new moon. We want to see what that was all about. All right, so Taurus, let's see. What is your, what's the biggest message for Taurus this week? Yeah. You better move. You gotta move. You got the 2 of Wands, which is fine, but that's having 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Okay? And it's like, sure, you've achieved some things, but what's next? And there's this ambivalence. Remember what I said. This is a time to shake things up, to do some things that are different. And you're going to be presented with decisions. Okay? Great. Good chat. You're good. Look at this. You are so good. Like, you just gotta... Yeah. Taurus, y'all are amazing. Thanks so much. Next week... we move into Aquarius season, so it's a lot of this is career. Yeah, a lot of this is your legacy. A lot of this is your future. All of this, but you see, it's all these like happy endings, these new beginnings, this decisive actions. You're gonna be fine. Taurus, y'all are amazing. If you like this reading, it'd be great if you like, subscribe, leave comments, tell me what's going on. And Tier 3 members, you know where to find the link. Anyone is welcome to join. And we will talk about there's so much stuff with Chiron that's in your 12th, and that's not, it really isn't that easy. But remember, Chiron's moving into your sign very soon, okay, in a few months. Taurus. And then I have Chiron in my chart in Taurus in the 12th at 1 degree. I'm gonna feel it right away. And then you have like all the other stuff with the moon and Scorpio and relationships and love and contracts. Anyway, we'll talk about it. Y'all are amazing. It's so hard to say goodbye, Taurus. Okay, thanks so much. I'll see you next week. Bye bye.